Hey Hussein, hey Sleepy Joe, ready to rank the Star Wars movies?
You betcha.
Yeah, let's dive in.
Wait, why isn't the Clone Wars animated movie on this list?
We're only doing live-action movies, Joe. Now let's get into it. Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Absolute horseshit of a movie. I'd put it in D tier, but then I'd be saying it was better than Attack of the Clones and Rise of Shitwalker, so C tier.
Hold up a second, Jack. Now, although it was far from a masterpiece, it is meant to be a first installment and world build for the following two movies. I would say it is B tier.
Yeah, Don, I understand it isn't great, but it also introduces great characters like Qui-Gon and Darth Maul, who ended up being one of the best antagonists in all of Star Wars.
Don't think for a second George had Darth Maul planned out to live years later. In the movie, he was a placeholder villain who had no dialogue. Not to mention we have Natalie Portman on screen eye-banging a literal child, which I'm sure Joe can relate to.
Hey, go lose another election, fat ass.
Guys, it's only the first movie, Jesus. I say we call it with C tier.
Fine.
Okay.
Next is Attack of the Clones.
Just horrendous.
Well, I actually like everything with Kamino and also the ending when the clones come in.
Yeah, but it takes like 75% of the movie to get there, which is just full of Anakin now being a simp over Padme. It's boring as hell to watch.
Although I agree, Don, setting up the clones in the Clone Wars was essential for the third movie and led to one of, if not the best shows in Star Wars history. And I know you are going to say that wasn't their intentions, but either way it happened, I say we put it in C, but under the Phantom Menace.
Barry, is this based on the entire lore or as solely a movie? You can't just say these things lead to good stuff and therefore it redeems the movie.
I say it's better than the Phantom Menace.
It's going in C under Phantom Menace. That's final next movie, Revenge of the Sith.
Although the acting is still pretty terrible, I have to admit the legendary duel of the fates and origin of Darth Vader make up for it, along with Order 66. Plus, it introduces General Grievous, who is fucking sick. I think this should go in A tier.
This is the best Star Wars movie that was made. It's S tier or you're both insane.
Joe, it's not the best Star Wars movie, but it is damn close and should still go in S tier.
You guys, I agree it's good, but there are three I can name that are better. It's definitely A.
2-1, you just got voted out, Donnie, just like in 2020.
Fuck you, Obama.
Okay, next is Solo. What we thinking?
I like how we get to see him meet Chewie and the sassy droid.
Although it was kind of cool and we did get to see Woody Harrelson introduced into Star Wars, it teased Darth Maul at the end for like no reason. It wasn't necessarily terrible, just pretty mid.
Yeah, I can agree, Don. B tier. Now Rogue One.
Absolute best Star Wars movie ever made.
Whoa, although it's good, that's a bold claim.
I didn't like it. There were no lightsaber fights.
Joe, that's because you have the attention span of a toddler with ADHD. If you paid attention through the dialogue and story at the beginning and middle, you are rewarded with an amazing fight and sequence that leads flawlessly into A New Hope. Plus that Darth Vader scene.
I agree, Don. It was one of the better well-done films, but I have one in mind that's better just to appease Joe. I'll put it in S, but under Revenge of the Sith. Now we have A New Hope, the first Star Wars movie ever made and an introduction of all the characters. It truly set the tone for everything and was extremely well done for the time. I say S.
It was an amazing film, but not as good as my Rogue One or Empire. I'm going with A.
You're saying it's worse than Revenge of the Sith?
No, it's better. You dumbasses just didn't put Revenge of the Sith in the correct tier.
Listen, it's going in S above Revenge of the Sith.
This is some horse shit. Look, now that this is happening, my beloved Rogue One is going to be fourth because you two are going to put Empire as the top movie, which even though I think it's Rogue One, I do respect that opinion, but Rogue deserves better than fourth.
Donnie, as long as it's an S tier, does it really matter that much?
Yes, it does. You just think A New Hope is so good because you fantasize how many hospitals you can blow up with the Death Star.
Now slow your roll there, Jack. I saw A New Hope way back when I first went on a date with Salisbury Sally, and we enjoyed every second. I remember losing my virginity to her in the back of my dad's Plymouth listening to Mungo Jerry. Man, that was a crazy summer. I wish those days never ended, man. High school was great.
Joe, you were 35 when A New Hope came out.
Huh?
Jesus Christ, did you get into Hunter's stash, Joe? Do us a favor and take a nap?
Joe, I think you were even a senator at that time.
What?
Just put it wherever you want, Obama, as long as it ends this conversation.
Sounds good to me. All right, next we have Empire Strikes Back.
Gonna be an S from me.
Agreed.
Yep, all right, now Return of the Jedi.
Although a good movie, not insanely great, and also just kind of blew up the Death Star again, I'll say A, since no other movie is there right now, and I did enjoy it more than Solo.
I can respect that. Definitely was a good movie, but not an amazing, exciting finale for the trilogy.
The Ewoks kind of scared me. I think it should be D tier.
It's going to stay in A, Joe. Okay, The Force Awakens.
Pretty much just made for nostalgia. They just rinsed and repeated the Death Star for the third goddamn time.
I'm mad they killed Harrison Ford. He endorsed me, you know.
I say B tier, but better than Solo. Although the Death Star plot was redone, I enjoyed the introduction of new characters to the series like Kylo Ren, Finn, and Rey.
Fine, whatever.
The Last Jedi.
D tier, they ruined whatever the hell they were trying to turn these new characters into and just replaced Leia with CGI instead of giving her a proper send-off. I hate when movies do that.
Although that is true, it was cool seeing Mark Hamill as Luke again.
No, it wasn't. They need to stop bringing back old characters for nostalgia and write some plot development for their new shit ones. Even Mark Hamill regretted reappearing in the role.
I enjoyed the milk scene.
Of course you did, Joe. Put it in D tier now.
Fine. Rise of Skywalker.
Terrible.
Horrendous.
All right, that's it then, boys.